Okay, so I think we are ready with our week number 5. So simulan na po natin. So batiin ko po muna lahat ng nanonood ng ating live. Ma'am Charmaine Malalis. Ayan, happy weekdays. Ma'am Ray, Sanico Manalo, and Clarice Reyes. Ayan, magandang hapon po sa inyo. So simulan na natin. Para sa ating week 5, ang topic po natin ay text and visual dimensions of information and media. So last week, we tackled about text dimensions of information and media. So now, we are going to proceed with visual. Okay, so once again, ang ating pong module ay downloaded mula sa DepEd Commons, gawa ng Region 4A, Calabarzon, ang kanilang pivot module. I am Tutor Kat para sa subject na Media Information Literacy. Ang ating time slot ay every 4:40 to 5:20 p.m. at mapapanood tayo sa mga sumusunod na Facebook page and YouTube channels. Ayan. So, ano ba ang ating most essential learning competencies today? Today, we will have describe the different dimensions of media. Particularly, we will have visual information and media. And para naman sa ating mga objectives today, we will explain the principles in designing visual elements. Number 2 objective, we will evaluate the impact of visual content and forms. Para sa third objectives, we will design a personal brand or logo using appropriate text and visuals. And number 4, we will spread positive, affirming information through visual media. Okay, so review po muna tayo. So last week, ang topic natin is about text, information, and media. Diniscuss natin doon yung iba't ibang klase ng font, di ba? Font faces. So alin ba dito sa mga sumusunod, letters A to E, ang halimbawa ng serif font? So pwede po tayo mag-participate by typing in our comment section. Di ba pag sinabi nating serif font, halimbawa dyan yung Times New Roman, ayan, Footlight, serif font yon. So alin kaya dito? Yan, magandang hapon, Herma Cadiz, watching from DepEd Dasma. Ma'am Soraide Gule. Yan, good PM po from Jensen Als. Okay, ang halimbawa ng serif font, kung sagot nyo ay letter B, yan, tama po kayo. It's letter B. Number 2, sans serif, meaning without feet. So, halimbawa yan yung Calibri, Arial. So, alin kaya dito? So, the answer is letter D. Yan. Number 3, we have script. Okay, pag sinabing script, yung dikit-dikit na font. So, ang halimbawa dyan is yung letter E. Number 4, slab serif, yung naka-bold na serif font. Okay? If you want to participate, just type in our comment section. Ang sagot po sa number 4 ay slab serif, letter A. And number 5, we have decorative. Yun yung mga font na may specific na tema. Halimbawa, nakakatakot na theme, nakakatawa, funny or girly type na font, tawag doon ay decorative. So, ang halimbawa dyan is yung letter C. Yeah. So, let's proceed with number 6 review. So, dito naman tayo sa elements of text. So, ano kaya yung tinutukoy kapag sinabi it concerns with consistency of elements and the unity of the entire design? Okay, consistency of elements. We are referring to repetition. Number 7, it refers to the conscious effort to organize the different text elements in a page. Okay, yung pagkakaayos. So, ang tinutukoy natin ay organization. Number 8, it refers to how the text is positioned in the page, left, right, center, justified. Ayan, alam natin yan. Letter A, alignment. And number 9, it refers to the importance of value or value given to a part of a text-based content. Halimbawa, may mga important information or text, we highlight it using bold style, we italize it, we underline, and that is emphasis. And number 10, it refers to how fitting or suitable the text is used for specific audience. We make sure na yung elements ay nakaangkla doon sa mismong tema ng text. So, I'm referring to appropriateness. Okay, so I hope na unawa na itindihan yung lesson natin last time. So now, let's proceed with the next one. The visual elements, the power of visual content. We all agree, di ba, pag sinabi na 40% of people respond better to visual information than plain text. ako usually, 'di ba, karamihan sa atin, sa mga learners, actually sa atin din, are visual learners. So mas madaling ma-retain sa kanila yung isang information kapag mayroon siyang katumbas na pictures or illustrations. So sabi din dito, infographics can improve website traffic by 12%. Kung napapansin nyo, kapag kayo pumupunta sa mga website, di ba, compare mo yung dalawang website na may pictures, may mga pictures, images, may mga videos, tsaka yung sa website na wala, plain text. Ang usually na binibisita ay yung mayroong mga pictures. Okay, or may mga infographics. Kasi by just looking at the flow, di ba, yung pictures, mas madali siyang maunawaan. Yan, magandang hapon, Sir Rod Vincent. Yan, good afternoon po. And 80% of what you see is retained. Yan, tama naman po doon. And conversions increase 86% when videos are used on the landing pages. Yung mga websites na merong videos, di ba, mas madali siyang ma-access, maraming na-attract ng mga users. And 20% of the words on a web page is read by the average user. Mas madaling mabasa, maging interactive ang iyong page kapag mayroon siyang pictures or videos. And landing pages with videos are 40 times more shareable. Mas maraming shares ang nangyayari sa mga websites or web pages na mayroong pictures and videos. Okay. So with that, diba, we have to learn the following visual dimensions of information and media. Okay, let's proceed. First, define natin ano ba yung tinatawag na visual. Visual are materials or programs, applications, and the like that teachers and students use to formulate new information to aid learning through the use, analysis, evaluation, and production of visual images. So pag sinabi natin visual information and media, anything that can be perceived by the eyes, di ba? Lahat naman nakikita natin using our eyes. So it could be a picture, a screenshot, a video. Okay? Now, meron tayong iba't ibang types ng visual media. May tinatawag tayong photography, video, screenshot, we have infographic, comics, meme, graphs or charts, and visual note-taking. So, ang una dyan is yung photographs. Ito yung halimbawa, photography. Diba? Pag kinuwento lang ba sa'yo na ang Mount Makiling ay maganda, perfect ang kanyang shape, diba, hindi tayo agad-agad maniniwala kasi hindi pa natin nakikita yung actual na picture. So, with photography, diba, pag sinabi natin photography, we take pictures or photo using our mobile phones or the DSLR cameras or digital cameras. Okay, another example, types of visual media is this video. This video is a screenshot from the scene, short film, Kinamulatan. Another types of media, we have here screenshots. Yan, usong-uso yan. SS mo na lang. Screenshot, may screenshot ka ba? Di ba, usong-uso yan, SS. Swipe mo lang yung tatlong mong daliri sa cellphone mo, makakakuha ka na ng screenshot. Or print screen naman sa laptop. Okay, next is the infographic. This was created to promote netiquette in Mary Help of Christians College, Laguna. Yan, nasa module po natin yan. Kung hawak niyo po yung module Region 4A, yan po yung nasa mismo module. Diba, kapag sinabing infographic, it's a combination of text and pictures. And most of the time, gumagamit sila ng mga arrows, gumagamit ng mga acronyms para mas madaling ma-visualize or ma-absorb yung information na gustong ibigay sa bumabasa. For this example, we have here RESPECT, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Tumutukoy ito sa netiquette: report, enjoy, share, pull out, educate, calm down, and think. Okay, so sa panahon natin ngayon, sumigat yung term na infographics. Dati ano lang siya, charts, graphs. Yan, dahil nga marami na rin mga software na pwede tayong gumawa ng mga magagandang infographics. Okay, next we have here comic strip or cartoon. Okay. Di ba ginagamit ng comic strip or cartoon for dialogue, di ba, sa mga module? Mas kasing na-attract yung mga learners natin kapag kinonvert natin into comic strip yung isang concept na matututunan nila. Yun nga lang, medyo matrabaho kasi we need to draw, di ba? Kung marunong ka mag-drawing, di ba, why not do this kind of illustration? Kasi mas madali siyang ma-enjoy at mababasa ng mga bata. Okay, next we have meme. Yan, people are afraid of the super teams. We can enjoy this team. Di ba yung mga memes, usually mga pictures lang yan or screenshot captured pictures in action and then meron mga quotations or messages regarding that picture. Okay, this is an example of memes from NBA. Next, we have graphs and charts. Okay, in this example, the numbers speak what learning modality, okay, Lamians are likely to consider. Lamians, it's a Lim Integrated School FB page. Diba? Kung ito ay present sa atin in table form, diba, medyo nakaka-boring tingnan. Pero kapag kinonvert natin siya into charts or graphs, by just looking at the color, alin ba yung pinakamalaking payang kinain, yung gray part. Meaning, yung modular distance learning ang kanilang 25% ng mga students yung kino-consider nila. Yan. By just looking at the pie chart, di ba, yung graph colors, madaling ma-interpret. It helps them with the interpretation of the data or information. Okay, next we have another type of visual media. Magandang hapon, Gloria Cubelo, watching from JTJM and HS. Yan, magandang hapon po. Sa ating last types of visual media, we have visual note-taking. Ayan, ginagawa ko yan usually nung college, nung ako'y nag-aaral. Kapag nagtuturo yung professor, sinasabayan ko siya ng note-taking with matching drawing, diba? Mga arrow. Pag ang tinuturo ng prof ko ay skeletal system, nagdodrawing talaga kahit stick man lang itsura. Basta matandaan ko yung naituro sa akin on that day, at that moment. Kasi mas madali siyang natatandaan. Yan, ayan yung halimbawa ng visual note-taking. Okay? So, yun po yung mga iba't ibang types ng visual media. Let's proceed with the design elements. Okay, pag sinabing design elements, ano yung mga bumubuo sa mga design or sa mga visual images? We have lines, shapes, value, texture, color, and form. So, the primary purpose of visual information is to gain attention, di ba? Create meaning and facilitate retention. But how can you create a striking visual? So you have to consider the following visual elements. Okay, let's start with the line. Okay, so line can be described as a shape or outline. It can create texture and can be thick or thin. Diba? Dito sa halimbawa, meron tayo dito actual line, implied, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and contour. So, kung titingnan natin, hindi lang siya basta line. Kapag yung line, pag yung design natin, ginamitan natin siya na mostly horizontal line, meron siyang meaning, connotation na binibigay. Di ba? Pag horizontal lines are more static, di ba? Hindi siya gumagalaw, it's more stable and calm. Just like the ocean, di ba? Kapag tahimik ang dagat, di ba? It gives us the feeling of calm. So, kapag horizontal lines yung ginamit natin. Kapag vertical lines naman, di ba? It commands attention, di ba? Attention, kasi vertical lines, steady, di ba? Stability. Kapag diagonal lines naman, it conveys movement, di ba? Movement, kasi diagonal. And contoured lines may evoke turbulence, playfulness, and the likes. Kasi meron dito parang gradient, may transition ng shades ng mga lines. Okay? Di ba nga kapag nagdadamit tayo, sabi nga, huwag kang magsusuot ng damit na naka-stripes, mas lalo kang tataba. Kasi nagkakaroon siya ng illusion na palawak. Di ba? Nagkakaroon ng nadudaya yung mata natin na akala natin tinitingnan natin ay malawak or malaki. Kaya kung gusto mo daw pumayang, magsuot ka daw ng damit na naka-vertical yung lines, yung stripes, hindi yung horizontal line. Yeah. Next is this shape. A shape is a geometric area that stands out from the space next to or around it because of the difference in value, color, or textures. Okay, so dito titingnan natin, so ano yung shape na form nung pinagsama-sama yung mga umbrella? 'Di ba? Kapag pinagsama-sama yung mga umbrella, makakapag-form dito ng shape. Yan, in between. Yeah, meron dyan diamond. Dito sa pagitan ng mga payong. And then sa mismong payong, di ba, meron siya mga triangles. Ayan. And may tinatawag tayong mga organic shapes. Pag sinabi nating organic shapes, yun yung mga natural na hugis ng mga bagay-bagay. Halimbawa dyan yung eggplant. Yan. Next, the design element is the value. The value is the degree of the light and dark in a design. It is the contrast between the black and white and all the tones in between. Diba? Value, the contrast. Tumutuwa ito sa contrast. The lightness, diba? Ano yung mga ibabaw? Yung light colors ba or yung dark colors when we control the value? Value can be used with colors as well as black and white. Okay, next is texture. Okay, by just looking at the picture here, ano yung pinaka-element sa picture na nagbigay ng texture? Okay, pag sinabi natin texture is the way a surface feels or is perceived to feel. Magalas, di ba? Makinis, magaspang, yan yung texture. Texture can be added to attract or repel interest to a visual elements. So with this example, di ba, ang nagbigay ng texture dito is yung mismong puno. Diba? Yung puno na walang dahon, yan. Yan yung nag-add texture doon sa background na very smooth, diba? Blue sky and the ocean, yan. So, yun yung nagdagdag ng a value doon sa picture. Nag-balance yung texture. Okay, next is the color. The color is determined by hue, diba? H-U-E, the name of the color, the intensity of the color, how bright the color is, yung value, yung contrasting ng light and darkness of the color. So, color and color combination can play a large role in the design. Di ba may mga kulay nga na sinasabi na bagay na magkasama. May mga kulay naman na hindi bagay na magkasama or nakakasakit sa mata pag pinagsama. Halimbawa, pagsamahin natin yung neon green and red. Diba? Sobrang hindi siya maganda sa mata, nakakasakit siya sa mata. Pero pag pinagsama mo yung blue, yan, and then white and light green, yan, very cool colors. So, when it comes to color, sa design elements, dapat meron din tayong alam sa color wheel, di ba? May tinatawag na complementary colors, may analogous color, di ba? So, we have to know ano yung bagay na kulay doon sa ating object na gustong i-emphasize sa isang visual image. Okay, next we have form. A form is a figure having volume and thickness. Okay, volume and thickness. An illusion of a three-dimensional object can be implied with the use of lights and shading. So, pag sinabi natin form, gaano siya ka 2D or 3D, having volume and thickness. So, dito sa halimbawa na to, yung nasa kaliwa, yun yung nagkaroon ng 3D effect dahil nilagyan siya ng shadow ng mismong artist. And then dito naman sa kanan na picture, it's purely 2D. It's more on sketch. Diba, lines lang yung nakikita natin. Thick line strokes. Okay, so let's proceed with the principles in visual design. Let's start with number 1, consistency. So dapat consistent tayo sa ginagamit nating mga design elements. Anong klase ng typeface, type style, and color is necessary. Especially in slide presentations or documents that are more than one page. So, halimbawa, pinagawa ka ng isang book. Pwede bang sa page 1, gamitin mo Times New Roman? Sa page 2, Arial ka naman. Sa page 3, Calibri ka. Sa page 4, curls ang gagamitin mong font. So, hindi siya ganun. Hindi siya pwede. You have to be consistent. Okay? So, halimbawa nga dito, sa Principles in Visual Design, applying consistency, diba? Yung mismong author nung module, sabi niya, I tend to be minimalist. So, minimalist ang kanyang design. I highlight important points by lessening other accessorial design. Like in the case of this poster for his school, wherein he used light geometrical gradient in the background. I used only 2 dominant colors to go with white, blue, and gold. Okay, so blue and gold lang yung ginamit niya. Different shades lang ng blue and gold. So, his schools is the school color. Our schools, the school colors, yung blue and gold. I gave variation in the text by using only 2 fonts, Impact and Arial. So, dalawang font lang yung ginamit niya. And aside from the DepEd logo at the bottom, he placed only a derivation of the caring emoji with the school's logo replacing the heart. Okay? It's simple design, pero very clean. Kung titingnan natin, consistent siya sa mga elements na ginamit. Okay, next is principle ng visual design. Bukod sa pagiging consistent, you have to know the center of interest. Pag sinabing center of interest, ito yung area that first attracts attention in a composition. Na pag tinignan mo yung picture, yun agad ang makikita mo. Yeah, magandang hapon po, Ricardo Capistrano from Laguna Division, Dayap National Integrated High School. Center of interest, dito, i-apply natin yung tinatawag na rule of thirds. Kung saan mo itatapat yung mismong object na gusto mong mapansin agad once na tingnan. Nung tumitingin yung iyong visual design or visual information. Okay? So, dito nga sa rule of thirds, di ba sa rule of thirds, dapat ilagay yung mismong object na gusto mong makita agad dito sa intersection ng points, ng mga lines. Yan, dyan. Pero wag sa gitna kasi parang nagiging dead spot siya doon. So, dyan. So, dito yung halimbawa, yung nasa kanan na picture. Okay? So, I hope ina-apply natin yung rule of thirds. Pwede natin yan i-apply sa pag-take natin ng mga pictures, diba, sa mga events, at sa paggawa natin ng mga videos. Okay, dito naman sa portraiture ni Liza Soberano, yan, titingnan natin. Sabi mo, rule of thirds, di ba? Wag sa mismong gitna. Pero dito, kapag portraiture, one tip in order to command the center of interest in close-ups, di ba? Such as this picture of Liza, is to place the dominant eye at the center of the frame. So, zoom ko lang. So, ano yung dominant eye niya dito? So, eto yon. Yung kanyang kaliwang mata, pag portraiture, para mas mapansin na magkaroon din ng effect, na nakatingin siya sa atin, nakatitig siya sa'yo, eto, ilagay natin sa center yung kanyang dominant eye. In the case of portraiture lang yun. Okay? Next na dapat natin i-consider is yung balance. Balance is a feeling of visual equality in shape, form, value, color, etc. Okay? Objects, colors, texture, shapes, forms can be used in creating balance in composition. So, balance yung paggamit natin ng bold, di ba? Pag italize, balance yung paggamit natin ng mga colors, ng texture, di ba? Huwag puro cool colors, dapat well-balanced. Okay, it can be asymmetrical and evenly balanced or asymmetrical or unevenly balanced. Okay? So, ito yung halimbawa ng balance sa visual design. Kung ito, kung mapapansin nyo, pag hinati natin sa gitna, meaning this is an example of symmetrical balance. Ito. Yan. And also this one. This one shows balance kasi nasa center yung picture. And pag dinivide natin in half, sakto, walang part or portion ng object na nakat. So, sakto-sakto yung pagkakakuha sa picture. Number 4, we have harmony. Brings together a composition with similar units. Okay? Pag sinabi nating harmony, may mga elements na bagay na magkakasama. Okay? Objects, values, colors, textures, shapes, forms, etc. can be used in creating balance in composition. Diba? If, for example, your composition was using wavy lines or organic shapes, you would stay with those of types of lines and not put in just one geometric shape. Notice how similar harmony is to unity. So, halimbawa dito, ayan, halimbawa ng harmony dito, kung mapapansin nyo yung kulay niya, pastel color. So, wala siya nilagay dyan na warm color or striking na colors. Diba? So, nag-jive yung mga kulay, yung sky blue, yung yellow, light yellow, green. Yan, it's practices harmony sa kanyang design. Okay. So, next one is contrast. Contrast offers some change in value, creating a visual discord in a composition. Contrast shows the difference between shapes and can be used as a background to bring objects out and forward in a design. With contrast, by playing with the lightness and darkness of the colors, meron tayong napapaangat na elements or objects sa ating visual design. Ito, so may papakita ko sa inyo example. Ayan. So, by just playing with the contrast, di ba? Lumitaw, umangat yung picture ni Mama Mary dyan. Kasi yun yung may light na color. So, nagkaroon ng emphasis. Next is directional movement. It's a visual flow through the composition. Okay? Visual flow. Kumbaga, by just looking at the picture, makikita mo yung motion na nangyari doon sa picture. Okay, just like this one. Ayan. Dito, on the left, di ba? On the left, the lines implied by the children's arms provided a direction that leads to the element that unites them. A trophy. Di ba? Napakaganda ng pagkakakuha ng picture dito. Yung trophy nasa upper left and yung mga kamay, lumalabas siya from the lower right. Diba? It shows movement. And the same dito sa nasa right, although blurred yung image ng children, di ba? Pero pinapakita dito yung motion na may nagtatakbuhan, enjoy na enjoy sila naglalaro. Next principle in visual design, we have rhythm, a movement in which some elements recur regularly, like a dance, diba? It will have a flow of objects that will seem to be like the beat of music. Pag sinabing rhythm, tug, diba? Kung ano yung tunog, diba, sa una, dapat may paulit-ulit siyang madidinig. Diba? With certain duration. Ayan, halimbawa dito. Dito makikita yung rhythm. Ganito yung design sa una, sa next, ganun din yung design. So, mayroong rhythm. Also this one, di ba? Yan. Next example, next principle in visual design is perspective. It created through the arrangement of objects in two-dimensional space to look like they appear in real life. Okay, perspective is a learned meaning of the relationship between the different objects seen in space. Ayan, para mas madali nating maintindihan, di ba, pag sinabi natin perspective, meron tayong tinatawag na vanishing point. Ayan, kung makikita nyo, dito yung vanishing point. Yung angulo ng camera, di ba, sa daan, yung vanishing point, yung pinakadulo ng triangle, di ba, pinapakita sa atin na malayo yung tatakbuhin niya, may malayong daan na pupuntahan yung tao na yun. Yung focus ng image. So, yun yung tinatawag na perspective. Okay, let's go with the types of shots. So, ano nga ba iba't ibang klase ng kuha ng camera? So, meron tinatawag tayo extreme wide shot or extreme shot. This reveals the viewer the world where the story takes place. It is this kind of shot, usually, ginagawa siya para mapakita sa audience yung setting. Saan siya ginaganap? Sa bukid ba? Sa city? Diba? Sa dagat? Yan, extreme wide shot. Next is our long shot, extreme long shot. We have extreme, another example, extreme wide shot. Yan. Next is wide shot or long shot. So, hindi naman siya kasi lawak na extreme wide shot. So, wide shot lang siya. Kita ngayon yung full body ng mismong tao or ng object na kukuhaan natin. The characters can be seen from head to toe, diba? Because of the wide coverage. Okay, next type ng shot is the full shot. Like the wide shot, the full shot also shows the character from head to toe, but this time around, the character is already focused. Okay, dito sa full shot, unlike wide shot, sa wide shot kasi medyo malayo pa eh. Although kita from head to toe, pero makita sila na maliit yung mga tao. Dito sa full shot, makikita natin na malinaw yung mukha, di ba, yung parts ng body. Full body shot. Full shot. Okay, next is the medium shot. Medium shot is seen from waist up, okay? Dito sa bewang pataas, medium shot. This is often used in dialogue scene. Kapag may mga scene or eksena sa mga videos, ng mga dialogues, ang usual na ginagamit na shot ay mga medium shot. Okay, next is the medium close up. Yan, medyo tumaas na sa waist up, dito na sa bandang chest part, papunta sa head. This shot rests between the medium shot and the close-up with the subject frame from shoulders up. Okay, through this shot, more body language can complement the facial expressions to show emotion, di ba? Kung mapapansin natin sa mga eksena sa mga telenovela or mga movie, kapag umiiyak yung character, di ba? Kung hindi close up, ito yung kuha, medium close up, kasi makikita yung hikbi, yung movement ng shoulder, tsaka yung emotion sa face. Yan. Another example of medium close up. Next is close up. This frames the character face. Okay, ang focus naman sa close up ay yung mukha and provides emotional clues that cannot be effectively shown with the medium shot. Okay, bakit nagkakaroon ng mga close-up shots? So, nagkakaroon ng mga ganyang klaseng shot kung gusto natin mapakita yung emotion doon sa isang character. Diba? Yung mata, yung bibig, diba? Yung movement, no? Yung pagtawa, yan, close-up. Another example ng close-up, yan. And ang last type ng shot, we have extreme close-up. This is tighter frame that highlights the facial features of any subject more. It can be a highly detailed, much more intimate, emotionally heightened, and even uncomfortable to view. Extreme close-up. Mata lang kung mata, di ba? Ilong kung ilong, bibig kung bibig, extreme close-up. So, bakit nagkakaroon ng ganyang klaseng shot? Kapag mayroong particular na part sa face or any parts of the body na gustong bigyan ng emphasis doon sa isang video or image. Okay, so kita-kita yung mga details kapag extreme close-up ang ginamit. Next is the camera angles and points of view. Let's start with bird's eye view. Ayan, kaya siya tinawag na bird's eye view ang pag yung, di ba, yung ibon nakatingin from the sky, papunta sa baba, ganyan yung kanyang scenery. So, makaka-capture lang tayo ng bird's eye view, di ba, using drone. Diba, drone shots, or kung ikaw ay nasa ibabaw ng bridge or tulay, tapos magpipicture ka from there, papunta sa baba. Yan. It offers a perspective similar to which birds see while flying. Diba? We use the bird's eye view para mapakita yung mismong location, diba? Yung itsura ng mismong area. Next is the high angle. Hindi naman siya kasing taas ng bird's eye view, pero nasa mataas pa din yung lugar. High angle shot is taken pointing the camera down on the subject. Okay? Next is the eye level. The eye level shot, ito yung pinaka-common na camera angles. The eye level shot is considered the most natural camera angle. Kasi parang ikaw, as audience, parang ikaw mismo yung nakikipag-usap. Para nakaka-connect ka doon sa pinapanood mo kasi naka-eye level ka. So, capturing the shot at eye level offers a neutral perception of the subject. Next is the low angle. Okay, low angle shot is taken from below. So, kanina high angle, so low angle from below. Diba? The subject's eye line pointing upward. So, the camera angle makes the subject look powerful and imposing. So, kung gusto mo magkaroon ng dating na powerful, diba? Capture a low angle shot. Okay, next is the worm's eye view. So, kung may bird's eye view from the top, may worm's eye view mula sa ilalim naman, diba? Sa sahig. Yung camera, totally naka-flat sa sahig, pataas, focus. The worm's eye view camera angle looks at an object or subject from below. It is commonly used to capture tall elements in the scene. Halimbawa, gusto mo mapakita yung mataas na puno, yung mga ulap, yung stars, yung sky. Yeah, worm's eye view. Next is the over-the-shoulder shot. It is also called as OTS or third-person shot. This is created by placing the camera at the back, nasa likod siya ng character while facing the other character. This is used to highlight the relationship of the characters in a dialogue. So, bukod sa medium shot, ginagamit yung over-the-shoulder shot kapag mayroong mga conversation during sa isang eksena. And the last one, we have Dutch angle. Also, the Dutch angle, or known as Dutch tilt, canted angle, or oblique angle, this shot is noticeably tilted or tipped. Pansinin nyo, so medyo tilted siya. This is used to signal the viewer that something is wrong. So, ito usually nakikita natin ito sa mga horror movie or suspense movie. Biglang madi-distort yung angle ng camera. Kasi by just looking at that, di ba, nagkakaroon ng feeling na yung audience, ay, may something na mangyayari dito sa eksena. Yan. Usually, yung mga climax sa mga movie yan, gumagamit sila ng mga Dutch angle. Okay, so yun yung mga iba't ibang camera angles and points of view. So para sa ating what I have learned, let us answer this. Match the items in column A and column B. Balance. Okay, ano kaya yung balance? Okay, if your answer is B, you're correct. Balance refers to the visual equality. Number 2, contrast. It's letter D, a visual discord in a composition. Number 3, rhythm. Okay, it refers to the regularly recurring elements. Letter E. Number 4, rule of thirds. Okay, we need to keep away from the center, yung pinaka-object or main object natin. Number 5, color. We are referring to the hue, intensity, and value. Okay, para sa what I can do po natin, you're going to create a DIY brand. So, do you dream of starting your own business? So, perhaps you can introduce it as early as now. Create your own trademark design to be used in posters, flyers, or web pages of your dream business. So, kung isip po tayo ng, kung tayo magtatayo ng business, di ba? Ano yung negosyo na gagawin natin? So, magde-design lang po tayo ng sarili nating logo. May picture siya, tsaka merong text. And you need to describe bakit ganun yung design ng inyong gagawing DIY brand or logo. Halimbawa dito, yung Ronan's mug. Diba? So, lalagyan niyo siya na explanation like this. If I had my own cafe, I would want my clients to experience coffee the way I want to. Plain, simple, and homey. Sip while listening to soothing music. The visuals I use speak of that dream. I offer nothing fancy, but comfortable with music blending with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. So, kung mapapansin niyo dito, yung visual na ginamit yung mug, ginamit yung color is black and white. And meron dito parang mga notes. May mga notes dyan. And nandyan naman sa kanya explanation. So, bakit ganyan yung kanyang design. So, that will be for your what I can do part of activity.